Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I bought something quite unusual. You rarely see these on the roads anymore. I mean, that's mainly because they've all rusted away and been repurposed into Coke cans, but still, I thought it was noteworthy enough to make a video. It's a 2005 Mitsubishi Shogun Pinin, also known as the Montero Pinin, I think, or the Pajero Pinin, or in some markets, just the Pinin. Now, the Pinin was designed by the Italian styling house Pininfarina. Some of them were even built in Turin, and they very creatively decided to call it the Pinin. That must have been some great brainstorming session, shouldn't it? Well, what shall we call? Sorry, that was the worst Italian impression I've ever done in my life. In case you don't know, it's basically a small SUV. It's a bit of a soft roader, a bit like a Vitara or a Freelander. They were made as either a 3-door or a 5-door, and they were either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I think, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure they never offered it with a diesel engine. They were all petrols. Confusingly, they call the petrol engine something like a GDI. Now, you'd think the D represented diesel, wouldn't you? But no, that's not the case. The one I bought today is a 2005, it's a 5-door, and I've paid just £1,000 for it. So as long as it isn't completely rotten underneath, and it drives okay, it should be worth £2,000, perhaps a little bit more actually. I can't remember the exact mileage off the top of my head, but I know it's low. I think it's about 50,000. I haven't actually seen it yet, so we'd better go and have a look, hadn't we? Right, I'll see you there. Right, well, we're here. Looks alright actually from afar. They're not a bad looking car actually, they're quite a cute little thing. It's almost like a 5-door Jimny. I don't think it'll go down in history as one of Pininfarina's best designs. It isn't a Ferrari Testarossa or a 406 Coupe, but it's alright. Didn't Pininfarina do the... I might be wrong here, but didn't they do the Hyundai Matrix as well? That was a disaster. Anyway, that looks alright. Someone, you know, I was worried about rust. Somebody, by the looks of it, has undersealed the underside of it with some red paint. And also, I'm quite patriotic, I love my country, but I don't think I'd put a Union flag emblem thing on the front. But if I did, I'd try and get it central. It's nothing like that at all, is it? Right, let me do a quick vehicle history check then. As always, when you use Car Vertical, it's really easy to use. All you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the vehicle reg. You can also use the VIN number, but we've got the reg on this occasion. So, Delta Yankee 05, Bravo Tango Foxtrot, D Delta. I always get confused, is that D-side or Derbyshire? D-side, I think, isn't it? This is currently checking millions of cars across dozens of countries' databases. It'll tell us whether it's been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance on it. More importantly though, this will show us all the previous MOT history, and I want to make sure this has got a long MOT on it with no advices for rot and rust. Thinking about it, that's quite optimistic. It's an 18-year-old Japanese car. See what I mean about the GDI? GDI, you'd think I meant diesel, wouldn't you? But no. If you'd like to do one of these vehicle history checks for yourself, and I urge you to do so before you hand over any cash, click the link below in the video description, or use the promo code HYPE, and you get 10% off each and every vehicle check that you do. Right, report is ready. So that is a Mitsubishi Shogun. No mileage fraud was disclosed, it's never been stolen, never been involved in any accidents, and there's no outstanding finance. So we're clear on all 4 fronts. It was first registered in the UK in March 2005, had its first inspection in 08. Okay, it's an old car, so there are many here. Let's go to the most recent. This is what's worrying. Right, in 2020, it failed an MOT on excessive corrosion, suspension points, sill, tyres, inner sill. Oh dear. It's not good, is it? But then it's passed its MOT every year since, and there's no more advisory items regarding corrosion, so that's probably a good sign, isn't it? Must have had it done. Right, it was so we've got a short MOT. It was MOT'd last year, July last year, and it had 2 advisory items. Rear brake pads appear low, and offside front tyre wearing on edges. Offside front driver's side. Right, that's not the end of the world, is it? I knew the mileage was low. Right, so it had done at the last MOT, it had done 45,000 miles. I couldn't quite remember the exact figure, but I knew it was low. It's done nothing, has it, really? You often find that with these kinds of small Japanese cars, like the Jimny and stuff. They tend to, and well, I am generalising, completely generalising. They tend to be bought by older people who like the high driving position and the good visibility, so they just don't do that many miles. We've got a valuation here as well, so the approximate market value of this car, when the seller's a company, is £2,120. I thought that's what it was worth, to be honest. It is a 2005 petrol manual 5-door 5-seat. Shame it's not auto, really. That would have made it a bit more valuable. Okay then, let me go and show you around it. Okie dokie, let's have a look. Well, it looks all right, doesn't it? Just noticed there's a little dent there near the fuel door. It kind of looks like the Mercedes GLK. We never got that in right-hand drive here in the UK, but I've seen enough of them when I go to Spain in places. And it kind of looks like that. Very flat back end and quite a dumpy stance with huge windows. So then, oh, that's what I was saying. Underneath, you see all that red stuff. I guess it's sort of rust inhibitor, but I wouldn't have chosen red. Doesn't look right at all, does it? Round this side, we've got this is a runway tyre. Runway Enduro 816. Very good. It's on about 4mm of tread. There's a little bit of corrosion there around the arch, but not too bad. Brake discs look a little bit ropey, to be fair. Someone's painted the wheel centres there red, which looks hideous. Yeah, that's the little dent. Needs a good old clean. There's plenty of moss and stuff growing everywhere. But it would clean up quite well, I think. Little Pininfarina logo there. On the front we've got it's a Hankook actually. Right, that's not bad. Front brake disc, again, looks a bit ropey. A little bit of corrosion there on the wheel arch, but then it's 18 years old, isn't it? I think we could buff the headlamps. Yeah, look at this. Why would you, I mean, fair enough, if you're going to put that in your car, do what you want, but at least make it central. Doesn't make any sense, does it, that? Why? More red paint there on the sump guard. That needs painting in matte black, doesn't it? Try and disguise it. The roof's very dirty, but quite a tidy car really for £1,000. We've got another Runway Enduro there. So we've got a Runway Enduro there, Runway Enduro there. They're not even the same on each axle, are they? And I've just spotted another Runway Enduro there. So we've got 3 matching and 1 odd. Little dent there, that'll pop out. It really needs a good clean, this. Try and get rid of all these bits of moss and mould. Got front mud flaps and rear mud flaps. A little bit of a homemade repair here. You can see where someone's bogged it and it's just started to pop out. Little touch in there. We've got matching plates. For some reason, I don't know what's gone on here, but someone's gone mad with this red electrical tape. Same thing on the front. It's like they've had 10 rolls of it and thought, I need to use that tape before it goes off. I know what I'll do. I'll just put it over the front grille there for no apparent reason. Strange, some people, aren't they? Very strange. They've even put it on the key. Now we've got, which is weird, 2 Mitsubishi keys and 3 spurious ones. Don't quite know what's going on. Got a tow bar. You can't pull an awful lot with one of these, I wouldn't have thought, but... Is there water there? Oh yeah, that's a standard Mitsubishi fault. The backlights always let water in. Need to get that out and drill a little hole in it, I think. Right then, which is the magic key? Is it the one with blue tape? No. Oh, it is. Right, well, inside it smells just, well, it smells like every Mitsubishi from this era I've ever been in. If you've had one, you'll know exactly what I mean. Every Shogun of this era smells the same. My friend had a Mitsubishi Space Wagon or Space Star, one of those little hideous MPV things in Norway. It'd done about 450,000 kilometres and it burnt loads of oil, but had that same smell. For some reason, the centre seatbelt clasp has centre written on it. Why they've made that different from the others, I'll never know. It's quite clean though, really. Quite clean. We've got 4 electric windows, electric mirrors. With a good valet, this will be all right, I think. Anti-theft sticker there in case somebody steals my Pioneer USB compatible CD player. Bass button there. It's all about the bass, isn't it? No trouble. Right, the key with the red tape doesn't work in the ignition for some reason. Why is that? At some point then, I think this has had some new door locks, which is why I've got 1,000,001 keys. There we go, right. 47,000 miles and 77. We've got aircon. Does it work? We've got a flashing diff lock light. Not sure why. Oh dear, that didn't sound very good, did it? Sounds quite sweet though. Sounds alright. I half expected this to have a blow-in exhaust from rust or something, but so far, so good. It's been smoked in several times. Has anyone had a Shogun from this sort of era? The gear lever was right next to the handbrake, so if you had your hand on the handbrake and started it, this would whack your knuckles. It would get me every single time. We've got a love heart there for some reason. Someone's been bought a Lynx Africa gift set for Christmas and they've used it in the car. What can I show you then? Got a cup holder here. This era of Japanese stuff, you always get lots of little fiddly little compartments there that are neither use nor ornament. Little drawer. All four windows work. Don't know why I'm surprised. I'm not in a Renault, am I? Air conditioning, that's what I was trying. I would say not, because it's an ancient car. We're in right, so it is four-wheel drive, so we're in 2 high right now. Now we're in 4. All right. Now we're in 4 low, right, I think. Now we're back in 2. I think we're good there, aren't we? We'll stay in 2-wheel drive. Why is my locking light flashing? No idea. Tell you what, we'll have a look under the bonnet. This era of Pinin always suffers with really rusty cross member. Okay then, so under here, someone's gone wild with the gold hammerite, haven't they? What colour shall I paint that? Have we got any gold? Big battery for a small car, isn't it? Top mounts aren't all corroded. Might sound thicky, but what is that? Don't know. Well, looks very clean actually. They can be a bit head gasket prone, these, so needs an oil change, a bit black. But yeah, not excessively corroded anywhere. Or anything that I can see anyway. That all looks pretty good. Any mayo? No. Right. Someone's painted that silver, because you can see the overspray. Look at the overspray on that. This, I'm guessing, has been owned by an elderly person with too much time on their hands. What else can I show you then? It's all clean everywhere. There are no hidden compartments, I don't think. It's all quite clean, this. Moving around the boot. Quite a small boot on these, as I remember, yeah. Just how I remember. Someone's patched up the... Or have they? What a strange design that is. Why would you... Why is there Velcro on the... no idea. No idea. We've got a false floor here by the looks of it. Deal. Ah, right. Get this out of the way here. See what we're working with. We've got locking wheel nuts, owner's handbook and stuff, MOT, ATS Euromaster. They're usually quite fussy, so if they've only advised 2 things, that's probably a good thing, isn't it? I'll turn my camera away here because I've just seen the previous man's name and address. It had a new battery at 40,000 miles. We've got a receipt here from Manchester Car Audio for a new Pioneer radio at £150. Oh, we've got a bill here for a... What's this for? Ah, tow bar and electrics. Mitsubishi... Somebody here can't spell. Mitsubishi with 2 T's. Shogun. Mitsubishi Shogun Pinin. Fixed flange. Must have had a broken flange. Vehicle tax reminder. There's a bit of paperwork here then. Looks like someone's bothered maintaining it over the years. It had a full service in 2021 and front brake pads. Ah, I had a new clutch in 21 as well. It cost a 945. Wow. Clutch. Ah, catalytic converter, flexi pipe. 945. Wow. And also down here then we've got the service book. So, oh, look at this. Look at this. It's been lavished with money, hasn't it, this? Lavished. We've got Madley Heath, I don't know. ST, is that Stoke, Staffordshire? That was done at 17, 27, 29, 39, 40, 41, 44, 46. Last done in March, 2 months ago. Motorcraft Mobile Mechanics. That's all right, isn't it? Having said that, that oil looks a little bit black, doesn't it, for a car that's only been serviced 2 months ago? Am I being overly sceptical there? Who knows? Right, well, I think I'll put this boot back together. I think we'll take it for a quick spin. We've got a quarter tank of fuel. Right, where should we go with this? I think I might take it for a quick mini valet. Get him to clean it up a little bit. I'm not moaning here about the weather because it's a beautiful sunny day and it's 20 degrees, but it's a bit warm. And the problem is in this country, nobody bothers gassing up their aircon or making sure that it works. So for 2 or 3 months of the year, you end up sweating. Right, well, straight away this feels all right. The clutch is new, nice and soft. Sounds quite sweet. Pulls well. Is it? Oh wow, can you hear that? Of course you can hear that, it's deafening. That, I would say, is a very loud wheel bearing. Very loud. I hope it's just a wheel bearing, not the diff. Same sort of symptom. Just that wheel bearing though. I hope that's all it is. Oh, that's a right din, isn't it? I think what I'm going to do then, I might just drop it at the car wash just so it looks a bit cleaner, but ultimately it's going to go to my mechanics for a service, MOT, sort that wheel bearing noise out and see how bad it is. If it's all right, if my mechanic says that it's all right, then I shall retail it. And I should, if I can get them to wax oil underside of it and cover up all that red stuff, give it a good clean, do a few little touch-ins and dent removals and stuff like that. It's got to be worth £2.5 grand, I think, hasn't it, with this sort of history? That's what you'd expect to pay, I think, isn't it, for this kind of thing? Just remembered the middle of Romley is closed today for a Coronation Day parade. England's such a pleasant place to live when the weather's nice. Right, that wheel bearing is making me ill. Give me a head atch. Oh, yeah. Right, I now suspect it's the wheel bearing because as soon as I've put my steering wheel on a bit of lock, the noise has got worse. Oh. Cheers, cocker. Right, I'm going to go and drop this at the car wash and I'll catch up with you in a few days' time. Hopefully with good news. I hope it's not completely condemned by my mechanic. It's going to go one of two ways, isn't it? It's either going to be, yeah, it's all right, that Pinin, yeah, it's fine. Or, oh, Matt, where did you get this from? That reminds me, actually, I bought a Shogun once from a local Mitsubishi main dealer. Something like an 04 Shogun long wheelbase. And it was quite nice and it had decent history. And it drove all right, and as soon as I drove down to my mechanic's yard, she came running out and said, that's not, well, I'll make up a name now. That's not Mr. Braithwaite's car, is it? I said, yeah, it is actually, I've just bought it at local main dealer. She said, oh, it came in for an MOT last week and it's completely rotten. We told him to get rid of it quickly. So we went and traded it in against a brand new one. So unluckily for me, I bought a bit of a lemon and had to get it all welded and patched up, and then I could finally sell it with confidence. Right, anyway, I'm gonna drop this off for a quick mini wallet, and then I'll catch up with you in a few days' time. See you later. Well, I've got good news. Who'd have thought it? After we last spoke, I dropped this off at my mechanics for a PDI, which is a pre-delivery inspection, an oil and filter change, and an MOT. And I'll be honest, I was expecting that phone call. You know that one where it's ring, ring, hello? Hi, Matt. This Shogun. It's not good news, I'm afraid. I was expecting that phone call, but never happened. Instead, 2 days later, I simply received a text to say, Shogun all done. What a result. This rarely happens. I mean, you've watched these videos before. It rarely happens in these videos. Usually I end up inheriting a load of deferred maintenance, but with this Pinin, that wasn't the case. Do you remember how it had a really loud wheel bearing? I was praying it wasn't the diff. I was just hoping that it was just a simple wheel bearing. I looked out again, it was just the wheel bearing. When I went down to my mechanics to pick it up, I was chatting with them because I wanted to see how bad the rust was underneath. And he said, it's all quite tidy. It's obviously had a bit of welding done in the past. But I knew that anyway after checking the MOT history on the car vertical check. So at some point somebody's obviously had it welded and then they covered it full of that red rust inhibitor stuff. Now all that red, I think you'll agree, looked a bit unsightly, so while it was up on the ramp, I asked my mechanic to cover it all in black wax oil. It's actually called Schultz, I think that's the brand name. And it now looks a whole lot tidier. So apart from that, an oil change, an MOT and a few bulbs, that was it, ready to roll. So I picked it up from there and then I took it for a full detail valet. I asked the valeters if they'd take that red electrical tape off the front grille and also remove that Union flag. It was really annoying me how somebody had put it on there off centre. Well, it turns out there was a good reason for that, as there always is. The Union flag was off centre because it was hiding a dent. The good old general public. I thought it was a bit strange somebody would fit something so obviously wrong. Anyway, I've removed that now, and I think for an 18-year-old car, I think anybody could live with that small dent. And that, ladies and gents, is pretty much it. I got it back to work yesterday, photographed it, and made my advert. Now, I had a quick look on Autotrader, and there just aren't many of these out there, especially ones with such low mileage. This one's only done 47,000 miles. So I've advertised this for $3,495, and already I've had 3 or 4 inquiries. I just had a feeling that would be the case. So I've got my first appointment on it tomorrow at 11 o'clock, so fingers crossed that will lead to a sale. And it should leave me with a decent profit. What I'm going to do now is park up and I'll talk you through my exact costs. But I think I'm onto a bit of a win here. We'll soon find out, won't we? Right then. Even the air conditioning works on this. These are my bills that I paid yesterday at my mechanics. £4,177. They're not all for this, by the way, but... Mitsubishi Pinin DY05, there we go. So, oil filter, £8.50. Oil, £25. Near side front wheel bearing, £45. A charge for Schultz in the underbody, £45. Labour, £180. Various bulbs, no charge. MOT test fee, £40. So my total there was £416.20. £416.20. Add in the £1,000 I paid for the car, plus the £70 I paid for the valet, that takes my total to £1,486.20. So 1,500 quid. So if I get my 3.5 grand tomorrow, that will leave me a profit of £2,000, which is unbelievable, to be honest. I should actually explain that this car was a part exchange against a car that I'd had in stock for about 6 months and actually made a £300 loss on. So that's just the way it goes. Sometimes you've got to just sell something at a loss to attract a part exchange that hopefully you'll make some money on. There's no real method with this job sometimes. It's a bit of a strange one. But that's about it. So hopefully I've turned my £1,500 into 3.5 grand. I don't want to look too smug here because it could have quite easily gone the other way, couldn't it? As it has done many, many times. But, what's that saying? You've got to make hay while the sun shines, haven't you? Take the profit while you can because it's not always there. Right, well thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll leave the link below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.